The laboratory hummed with a strange electric tension. Dr. J. Park adjusted her glasses, her fingers dancing across holographic screens that flickered with complex mathematical equations. Outside the reinforced windows of the research facility, the early morning sunlight cast long shadows across the isolated research campus nestled in the mountains of South Korea. Her colleague, Sung Kim, was reviewing the latest quantum stability readings. They had been working for months, no, years, on something that most of their peers considered impossible. And faster-than-light drive that could potentially revolutionize human space exploration. The quantum entanglement matrix is holding, Sung muttered, his eyes narrow with concentration. But the energy requirements are still astronomical. Jay understood the challenge. Creating a drive that could fold spacetime, that could effectively create shortcuts through the universe, wasn't just a technical problem. It was a fundamental reimagining of physics itself. Their latest prototype looked deceptively simple. A compact cylindrical device no larger than a car engine, but with internal mechanisms so complex that no single human mind could fully comprehend its intricacies. Superconducting rings, dark energy capacitors, and quantum stabilization fields worked in a delicate dance that defied traditional engineering principles. The team had already gone through 17 failed prototypes. Each failure was a lesson, each explosion a data point. They were pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, and they knew it. Run the simulation again, Jay instructed the central computer. Holographic representations of spacetime began to twist and fold, showing potential travel routes that seemed to laugh at the concept of linear distance. What made their approach unique wasn't just the technology, but the fundamental theory behind it. While other research teams attempted to create traditional propulsion systems, Jay and Sung were essentially trying to cheat the universe's fundamental rules. Their breakthrough came from an unexpected combination of quantum mechanics, dark energy research, and a revolutionary understanding of spacetime curvature. By creating microscopic, controlled quantum tunnels, they could potentially compress vast distances into mere moments of travel. The prototype's first stable test was scheduled for later that day. The entire research team was nervous, their excitement palpable. Years of work, billions in funding, and the collective dreams of human space exploration rested on this moment. Sung checked the preliminary calculations one more time. The numbers were beautiful in their complexity, a mathematical symphony that suggested something extraordinary was about to happen. Energy systems are stable, he reported. Quantum entanglement matrices are aligned. Jay nodded, her heart racing. They weren't just scientists anymore. They were pioneers standing at the edge of a new frontier, ready to push humanity beyond its current limitations. The device began to hum, its internal mechanisms spinning with incredible precision. Diagnostic screens showed impossible readings, energy patterns that seemed to bend and twist reality itself. For a brief moment, the very air in the laboratory seemed to ripple, as if the fabric of space was preparing to be rewritten. This wasn't just another scientific experiment. This was humanity's ticket to the stars. Sung looked at Jay, a mixture of excitement and apprehension in his eyes. They both knew that if their calculations were correct, they were about to change everything humans understood about space travel. The prototype continued its strange dance, quantum fields building, dark energy capacitors charging. Something remarkable was about to happen, something that would soon catch the attention of not just the scientific community, but potentially civilizations far beyond Earth. Little did they know, their modest laboratory in the quiet Korean mountains was about to become the birthplace of humanity's most significant technological breakthrough. The universe was about to get a lot smaller, the international conference hall buzzed with anticipation. Scientists, diplomats, and media representatives from around the world had gathered to witness humanity's groundbreaking FTL drive presentation. At the center of the stage stood Jay Park and Sung Kim, looking both professional and slightly nervous. Unknown to most attendees, a delegation of alien diplomats sat quietly in the third row. They looked human-like enough to blend in, but their slightly iridescent skin and unusually symmetrical features gave them away. The lead diplomat, named Kira, watched the presentation with growing unease. As Jay began explaining the technical details, the alien delegation started exchanging worried glances. Kira's translator device captured every word, but the implications were far more terrifying than the simple language suggested. Our drive creates quantum tunnels through spacetime, Jay explained, clicking through holographic presentations. By manipulating dark energy and quantum entanglement, we can compress massive distances into milliseconds of travel. The human audience was impressed. The alien delegation was horrified. Doran, the chief alien scientist, leaned towards Kira and whispered in their native language, "They don't understand the catastrophic potential of what they've discovered." When the presentation concluded, the room erupted in applause. But the alien diplomats remained silent, their expressions a mixture of fear and disbelief. During the Q&A session, Doran raised his hand. The room went quiet. "Your technology," he began, his voice carefully controlled, "represents an unprecedented risk to galactic stability." Jay and Sung exchanged confused looks. The alien continued, "The quantum tunneling method you've developed could potentially destabilize entire spacetime sectors. Such technology is forbidden in our galactic protocols." The human audience murmured. Some looked confused, others intrigued. But Jay understood something deeper was happening. "Are you saying," she asked carefully, "that we can't pursue this research?" Kira stepped forward. "We're saying that your species doesn't comprehend the dangerous implications. This drive could create unintended spacetime fractures, potentially threatening multiple civilizations." The room was now completely silent. Humans were being told their greatest scientific achievement was considered a cosmic threat. Sung spoke up. "With all due respect, every major technological advancement has been misunderstood initially. The Wright brothers were laughed at before airplanes changed transportation." The alien diplomats looked uncomfortable. They had anticipated presenting a stern warning, not engaging in a philosophical debate about technological progress. "This isn't about mockery," Doran explained. "This is about fundamental universal safety. Your drive doesn't just travel through space, it potentially tears the fabric of space itself." Jay realized they were at a critical moment. This wasn't just a scientific presentation anymore. This was first contact, a moment where humanity's technological ambitions were being directly challenged by an advanced alien civilization. "We're willing to discuss safety protocols," Jay offered diplomatically. "But we won't stop our research." The alien delegation knew this was just the beginning of a much larger conversation. Humanity had discovered something extraordinary, and the galaxy would never be the same. As the conference ended, Kira looked at Doran. "They have no idea what they've created," she said softly. Doran nodded. "And that's what makes them so dangerous." Outside the conference hall, the world continued spinning, unaware that a quiet revolution had just begun. Humanity had taken its first step towards becoming a truly interstellar species, whether the rest of the galaxy liked it or not. The quantum drive sat in its protective case, waiting. A small device that could potentially rewrite the rules of existence. A testament to human curiosity, innovation, and an unshakable belief that no boundary was truly impassable. The galaxy would soon learn that humans were not a species to be told what they could or could not do. The research facility had transformed. What was once a quiet mountain laboratory now buzzed with military and scientific personnel. Prototype ships emerged from massive underground hangars, each vessel equipped with the revolutionary quantum drive developed by Jay Park and Sung Kim. Global governments had realized the potential of the technology. Funding poured in from every major nation, turning the initial research project into a full-scale interstellar development program. The original team now worked alongside military engineers, aerospace experts, and quantum physicists from around the world. Sung monitored the latest test preparations. The new prototype ship looked nothing like traditional spacecraft. Its sleek, almost organic design seemed to shimmer slightly, a visual representation of the quantum fields that would soon bend space around it. "Primary systems are online," a technician reported. "Quantum stabilization at 98.7%. The first long-distance test was about to begin." Their goal, to travel from Earth orbit to the edge of the solar system and back in less than an hour. Previous space missions would have taken months or years. As the ship prepared for launch, monitoring stations around the world watched with bated breath.
This wasn't just a scientific experiment anymore. This was humanity's declaration of its technological capabilities.
The alien diplomatic channels had been surprisingly quiet since the initial conference. Intelligence reports suggested the Galactic Council was in constant emergency meetings, trying to understand and potentially contain the human breakthrough. Jay watched the launch sequence from the control room. Her hands were steady, but her heart raced. Everything they had worked for came down to these moments.
Launch sequence initiated, the computer announced. The prototype ship seemed to blur, its edges becoming indistinct. For a split second, it looked like the vessel was in multiple places at once. Then, in a burst of controlled energy, it vanished. Tracking systems lit up. The ship had traveled from Earth orbit to the edge of the solar system in 47 minutes. A journey that would have taken conventional spacecraft years had been completed in less than an hour. But the most shocking data came from the ship's sensors. It hadn't just traveled through space, it had effectively folded space around itself, creating a quantum tunnel that defied everything known about interstellar travel. When the ship returned, the crew reported no time dilation, no physical stress. It was as if they had simply taken a short drive across a city, not traversed billions of kilometers of space. Global media exploded with the news. Scientists celebrated. Military strategists began reimagining global and interstellar defense strategies. The quantum drive was more than a technological marvel, it was a game changer. Sung reviewed the data, his eyes wide with excitement. "We've done it," he whispered to Jay. "We've actually done it." Unbeknownst to the human team, alien monitoring stations were going into full alert. The quantum signatures were unlike anything they had ever seen. Humanity had not just developed a new form of space travel, they had effectively created a technology that could rewrite the fundamental rules of galactic exploration. The Galactic Council's worst fears were being realized. Humanity was not asking for permission to join the interstellar community. They were announcing their arrival. As night fell over the research facility, the prototype ship sat quietly in its hangar. To the untrained eye, it looked like nothing more than a sophisticated piece of machinery. But those who understood its potential knew the truth. This was more than a ship. This was humanity's ticket to the stars. And no one, not international regulations, not alien diplomats, not the fundamental laws of physics, was going to stop them. The quantum drive hummed softly, a quiet promise of journeys yet to come. Of the massive alien enforcement fleet arrived without warning. Massive ships that looked like crystalline structures of impossible geometry positioned themselves in high Earth orbit, their weapons systems charged and ready. The Galactic Council's ultimatum was clear: cease quantum drive research or face total technological suppression. Humanity's response was equally straightforward: a single prototype quantum drive ship would demonstrate their capabilities. Pilot Lee Hyun sat calm and focused. His training had prepared him for many scenarios, but nothing quite like this moment. The quantum drive prototype looked more like a sleek arrowhead than a traditional spacecraft, its surface absorbing and redirecting energy in ways that defied conventional physics. "Incoming transmission," the ship's computer announced. The alien flagship was demanding immediate surrender and technology transfer. Lee Hyun's response was to activate the quantum drive. What happened next would be recorded as the most significant moment in human technological history. The prototype ship didn't just move, it seemed to exist in multiple spaces simultaneously. Alien weapon systems tracked nothing, their most advanced targeting computers completely overwhelmed. The human ship danced between massive alien vessels. Each movement was calculated, precise, showing not just technological superiority, but an almost artistic understanding of spatial manipulation. Weapon ports that could obliterate entire planetary systems found themselves targeting empty space where the human ship had been milliseconds before. Alien commanders watched in growing horror. Their most advanced warships, each representing centuries of technological development, were being made to look like primitive machines by a single human craft. "Impossible," the alien fleet commander muttered, watching sensor readings that made no logical sense. The quantum drive wasn't just a propulsion system. It was a defensive technology that rendered traditional warfare concepts obsolete. By creating localized spacetime distortions,
the ship could effectively dodge attacks before they even arrived.
Lee Hyun's voice remained calm during the entire encounter.
Demonstration complete, he reported to Earth Control. No direct engagement required. The alien fleet slowly began to retreat. Their technological superiority, built over thousands of years, had been dismantled in less than an hour by a species they had considered primitive.
Humanity hadn't fired a single weapon.
They had simply shown what was possible. Back on Earth, Jae Park and Sung Kim watched the live feed. They understood this was more than a technological demonstration. This was a statement about human potential, about our species' ability to innovate and adapt. The quantum drive had done more than create a new form of space travel.
It had fundamentally altered the balance of power in the galaxy. As the alien fleet withdrew, a new era began. Humanity wasn't asking for a seat at the galactic table anymore.
They were pulling up a chair and preparing to redesign the entire dining room. The prototype ship returned to Earth, its quantum drive humming softly, a quiet promise of journeys yet to come, of boundaries yet to be crossed. No one would ever look at space travel the same way again. 5 years after the quantum drive demonstration, humanity had transformed from a planetary civilization to an interstellar presence. Earth was no longer just a single planet, it was now the central hub of rapid human expansion.
The Galactic Council, once dismissive and threatening, now approached human diplomats with a mixture of respect and caution.
Alien civilizations that had maintained strict territorial boundaries for millennia found themselves suddenly vulnerable to human exploration and potential colonization. Jae Park, now the lead director of interstellar exploration, sat in a massive conference room filled with alien diplomats.
Her quantum drive technology had become the most sought-after innovation in galactic history.
"We're not interested in conquest," she explained carefully.
"We're interested in exploration and mutual understanding." But her words rang hollow to some alien representatives. Humanity's technological leap had fundamentally disrupted established galactic power structures.
Where alien civilizations had spent thousands of years creating complex diplomatic networks, humans had simply invented a technology that made those networks irrelevant. The quantum drive allowed human ships to appear anywhere, anytime.
Traditional defense strategies became obsolete. Entire alien military doctrines were being rewritten to account for this new human capability.
Sung Kim, now leading quantum drive research, had developed even more advanced versions. The latest prototypes could create stable wormholes, effectively allowing instantaneous travel across vast galactic distances.
Alien scientific delegations were both terrified and fascinated.
Humanity had achieved in decades what some civilizations had been attempting for centuries. Trade agreements, exploration contracts, and scientific collaborations began flooding in.
Alien corporations wanted access to human technology. Research institutions wanted to understand the quantum drive's underlying principles.
But beneath the diplomatic pleasantries, a fundamental shift was happening.
Humans were no longer the newcomers.
They were becoming the architects of a new galactic order. Military strategists on Earth understood the profound implications.
The quantum drive wasn't just a transportation technology, it was the ultimate deterrent. No civilization could threaten humanity when human ships could literally appear anywhere instantaneously. The first human colonies began emerging on distant planets.
Not through conquest, but through careful exploration and scientific methodology.
Each new world represented another step in humanity's incredible journey. Alien civilizations watched with a mixture of admiration and concern.
The species they had once considered primitive had become the most disruptive technological force in recent galactic history. Lee Hyun, the pilot who had first demonstrated the quantum drive's capabilities, now led human exploration missions. His team was mapping regions of space that had been considered unreachable, opening up entire new galactic sectors.
"We're not just traveling," Lee would often say during briefings.
"We're rewriting the fundamental understanding of space and time." The quantum drive had become more than a technology. It was a symbol of human potential, of our species' ability to look at seemingly impossible challenges and find innovative solutions.
Jae Park reflected on their journey during a quiet moment.
From a small research facility in the Korean mountains to becoming a pivotal force in galactic exploration, humanity had made an incredible leap. The universe was no longer a distant, unreachable concept. It was now a playground of possibilities, waiting to be explored. As human ships continued to launch, carrying the promise of new discoveries, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never be the same again.
Humanity had arrived. And they were just getting started.